in the initial parts of our training, the dog is expecting a certain type of reward in a certain situation. And we use their expectations to build a behavior, right? So we don't violate their expectations in the early stages of training, right? Because it's a problem. So if I've been training with steak, and every training session, and I come in here and I have kibble today, right? I've signed a contract with my dog for steak. They expect steak. And so they do something, I say yes, and I break out a piece of kibble, and they're like, what the hell? Like, it's like, you told me when I was going to do this job, you were going to give me $100. I finished, and you gave me 20. Like, screw you. I never want to work for you again, right? So there's this idea that the dog, you've violated their expectations in a bad way. I can violate their expectations upward. I can come in working with kibble, and then bam, steak. Your dog's like, oh man, I want to work for you, right? Because I went up, right? I told you I was going to give you 20, and I gave you 100. The dog's like, excellent, right? So that law of same thing. If your dog really likes toys and you've gone to the park and played with a ball every day, there's going to be one type of dog. You go to the park and you try to do food work, and they won't take it. They'll spit it right out. Like, no, I'm not doing this, right? I want my toy. We signed a contract for toys, right? So I don't want to fight through that with a young dog. Later, I'm going to make my dog engage in less valuable activities or rewards to access higher value ones. And there's a concept in dog training called the Premack principle, and it's named after David Premack. And the Premack principle is if you put less valuable or less likely activities in front of more valuable activities or more rewarding activities repeatedly, the less valuable activity gains energy and is more likely or more valuable to the dog. So we use this all the time in competitive obedience training, for instance, right? My dog really likes to retrieve, but doesn't like to heel. So I practice heeling before retrieving in every training session. A little bit of heeling, and then we do a retrieve. A little bit of heeling, and then we do a retrieve. And gradually, my dog starts to like heeling, because heeling predicts the more valuable behavior. Well, the Premack goes the other way, too. If my dog's favorite behavior is retrieving, and their least favorite is heeling, and in training I practice retrieving and then follow with heeling, your dog starts to not like retrieving as much. Because the dog's like, damn, every time I do this retrieving, it predicts I hate heeling, right? And so now you start to pollute that behavior, right? So it cuts both ways. And so one of the things in protection work is a lot of our young dogs are learning to bite and things like that. And so once I've signed a contract for biting, I'm bringing my young dog out on a harness, they think, I'm going to go bite that guy, right? And so then I say, play with me. And the dog's like, no, I'm not playing with you. I want that. Why would I take a toy when there's that guy over there? And usually what people try to play with their dog a little bit, and they're like, my dog doesn't want to play. Let it go bite. Don't. What we do is we insist that you play with me in order to go bite him. So I go to play, go to play, go to play. You won't play, I drag you off and put you up. Bring you out next time, go to play, go to play, go to play, go to play. You won't play, put you up. Go to play, you start playing with me, you play with commitment, and once the dog's fully committed to playing with me, okay, now you get your bite. And then after you've bitten, you have to come back and play with me again. If you won't commit to playing with me, we leave the field. And if you insist, then the dog will do it. And then they accept it, and it actually energizes the play. Dog's like, I really want that, but okay, this is what I'm getting, right? And they put it into that, and they put that energy into their play behavior. And then if I insist after you've bitten, you come back and play, this is something we call kind of value transfer. Now you have to leave something more valuable for something less valuable, which is, and again, we talk about this more on Saturday, because when we talk about finishing work, one of the ideas is in the early stages of training, we're manipulating a dog by us controlling the thing that you want most. Right? So if I practice recalls, if I'm calling you away from something, you're coming to something of equal or greater value in the early stages. But eventually I need you to leave something more valuable for something less valuable, because I may not have anything as valuable as what you're eventually going to have to leave, right? And that's traditionally been the realm of punishment, and we do use punishment there for sure, but also we can use manipulation of the Premack principle to strengthen those behaviors as well. And so that I can get more value. Once my dog accepts, hey, this is something I do to get to that, and after that I can come back, and if I do this again, I have an opportunity to go back to that again. In certain training situations, that can benefit me. And so I would have gone through that process with my dog before I threw a toy out on the ground and sent you to grab it with a decoy present, right? But they'll eventually get to that state. I said, get it, that's not him, that's this, and you're gonna have to get that and play with me in order to access him, and then you've got it intact at that point.